We'll walk around compound, see some tigers. We will see some Pete's and hopefully squeaks. You have all grown so much. You have grown both in size and in beauty. I am filled with the love of life and all that is good. All right. Whew. You know, frolicking really takes it out of you. Should have stretched beforehand. What? Yeah, I was jumping around. Big deal. He's like, can you please, just this week, can you please be Team Tiki's? It's like, just this week, please. He's like that. Like in Looney Tunes, you know, and Sylvester the cat and the son be like, oh, father. Wear a bag on his head. That's what that's all about. That's what that's all about. Rah pants. Rah pants. No. What about Osiris pants? Or Anubis pants? Get it? It's the Egyptian mythology, you know. Yeah, mythology. If you were living in northern Africa in the Nile River Valley about 3,000-4,000 years ago, it wouldn't have been mythology, it would have been the religion. Then it turned into the mythology. Oh. And then, you know, of course, I'm sure that you can find some people who they're just like, oh, I'm totally a follower of Anubis. Sure, that'd be kind of the trendy thing, But you wonder, like, who was like the last from like that. When would it be kind of like this right here was like the last kind of individual from what we would consider ancient Egypt? Yeah, of course, people might sit there and say, like, oh, well, you know, you can try to break it down into, like, different kind of historical timelines and whatnot. And it's widely believed that, you know, when Mark Antony actually went over there and, like, the reign, Ptolemy's reign, Cleopatra, and, you know, when she was, like, she rolled up in rug. She was in a rug. She was rug queen. These are all sort of like historically accurate since they're not being assembled well. There is that story. She was in a rug. Anyway, who's the last person? Like, or does it, because it just because one civilization kind of transforms, I guess, into another. It's interesting. It's interesting. And there's no real, like, aha, there, like, it happened right there, because it's so slow and it's so gradual. There's so many different little kind of parts and pieces to, I guess, that whole transference of ideas and attitudes and what's not and what have you. Wrong way. Hello. Oh, hello. I know. See? I'm not so bad when you get to know me. Apollo is like, he's to the point of begrudgingly tolerating my presence. I begrudgingly tolerate your presence. I don't have to particularly like it, but I will at least just kind of say whatever. Now, Lakai, on the other hand, like, he actually does kind of come up and want to say hi to me at times. Apollo's still a little bit standoffish, but look at these cute boys. Look at these cute boys. Oh my gosh, they are so stinking cute. Even when they're mad. Very, very cute. When they have tood. When they have a touch of the tood. A smidge of the tood. But yeah, that's you know, when did the Roman Empire become you know, like, when did it become Italy? When did the Gauls become France? It's interesting, I guess. Or not, whatever. Sometimes, yeah, you know, these cast things, you just sit there and you just try to pull some stuff out and just, hey, would this interest you? No? Okay, well, what about this? Hello. Hi. I won't touch it. She's like, no. No touching Pete's. Oh, so sorry. She's like, you can. Man, Mom was like, you can touch my Pete's so I can bite your finger off. You can totally touch my Pete's so I can bite you. I want to bite your face. I want to bite your face. I want to bite your face. She's got to touch the crazy. Little dabble, do ya? Little dabble, do you? But, oh, you know, that self-care stuff, super good at warding off various forms of the crazy. I've actually, in earlier iterations of webcasting, I've used the word like, I would go up to the cats and I would say, like, in those kind of colloquial terms, like, you're being crazy. And then people would be like, as a person they would go into the comment section and be like, as a person who suffers from mental illness, I find it very disheartening that you would use the words crazy because it makes me think that you're being ableist. And I'm just like, you're overthinking, you're being crazy. Like, lighten up. Lighten up! And then again, it's like, well, you know, I've been diagnosed with very serious things, so maybe I'm telling the wrong person. Like, Don't worry about it. Yeah, probably giving that expectation to might be giving it to the wrong person. But I don't know. I'm not gonna say that I don't have, I guess in certain ways, the way that I feel. Now, I guess it's interesting because yeah, language can be that can be a squirrely one. Like I think that there's times where it is good on a case-by-case basis, and there's certain things where, yeah, there's definitely certain things or phrases or words that I will absolutely avoid and not use because it has certain sociologic implications, of course. And then there's times where it's just like, well, I think that takes, I guess, the intent of being a little bit more kind and concerned with each other and maybe kind of running a little bit rampant with it. I do think that sometimes can happen. Where it's like there's certain things and certain phrases and certain words where you're just like, okay, I get it. And the historical context behind certain things, it's like, I got it. That's, you know what? There's a reasonable case presented before me within the times that we are in right now. I will amend/adjust. Not because it's like I'm afraid of having to do the thing, but I just think it's just it just seems to be the proper thing to do. But then I think that a lot of other people like, well, no, this is an opportunity to kind of jump in on that whole thing and then maybe try to, I guess, get whatever column X thing that I belong to out into the forefront, and then I can, a lot of times it's like, instead of people trying to go for some sort of like, actual justice, like they're really they're going for like this kind of weird, almost kind of like biblical kind of retribution kind of thing. It's like, I feel like I've been dealt an unjust hand as far as life is concerned. So now, instead of trying to, quote, fight the oppressors that be, I'm just going to go out there and I'm just going to try to be a bully. I think that a lot of times that happens. I think a lot of times people don't want to admit that. They'll want to sit there and say like, oh no, I'm the one that's, fighting the good fight. It's not because I just actually am a human being and I like to engage in mob mentality tactics and I want to swarm people. Because we can't, they've talked about this on the radio, so this is not my original idea, but they've talked about it where it's like, we've done such a good job of trying to identify bullying and the whole notion of that, and bullies and bullying and bully, but, well, it's almost kind of like there's this weird there's like an ape thing, it's like a primate thing, it's like you look for, there's like things where it's like you look for things to just kind of like, hey, I want to poke at that thing. Well, we can't do that anymore. What if we bully the bullies? But what if there's not a bully to bully? We're gonna make the bullies. We're gonna find them. Doesn't matter. I think that happens a lot. And then it's like you'll have legit people who just get misunderstood and misrepresented, and then they get actually put into, they get lumped into the category with like legitimate people who actually have not so kind things in their hearts and in their minds. And there are certainly those people out there that exist. There's certainly those people that exist. Sometimes people want to make it seem just like we're surrounded on all sides by people that are just so full of hate. And it's like, I'm not going to sit there and say that there's not a lot. And I'm also not going to sit there and say, like, sometimes people can just kind of be maybe a little bit ignorant and insensitive. That doesn't mean that they're hateful. Maybe a little bit just kind of dumb and misinformed. Okay, there's a difference. I think there's so many different shades. I was not anticipating on talking. I don't even want to. I don't even want to go into the comment section after this one. Why did I even decide to talk about anything like this? Because here's the thing. Literally, I was going to use the whole me saying crazy thing to actually springboard into a whole other topic, which I was going to talk about basically just like trying to employ certain self-care things to, you know, help you sleep better and to help with like your emotional regularity and whatnot. And oh my gosh, look at that bleppy tongue. Look at that bleppy tongue. Look at Fire's blep tongue. Oh my god, 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 oh my god. Hi, sorry. Didn't mean to startle you, wake you up, and all that stuff. Okay. Back to normal. I was hoping that she would just stick her tongue back out and be bleppy again, and then I would just basically zoom back in and start doing, oh my god. Just, yeah, didn't happen though. Oh my goodness. I don't even know which part of you to focus on. There's like cute happening. I don't have a wide enough aperture. I don't have the proper equipment to catch all of the dorbs that are happening within this reality. Is there such equipment, Derek? Is there such technology available that can truly capture the full scale and scope of adorableness that happens here at the Center for Animal Research and Education? I think not. No such technology exists. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I mean, could it exist? In theory, sure. On paper. And that's a matter for the physicists, not the engineers. The engineers are practical people. They're realists. They know what can actually happen. Not the flights of fancy that, of course, can be... I mean, that's mathematically probable. You can do it, but it's not practical. Oh my gosh. Stink Snuffles. Stink Snuffles. Don't you go, you don't walk away. There we go. I was like, you don't walk away without giving me a stink snuffle, mister. Oh, but I have been, I'm watch out, Derek. I'm going to be careful about giving any sort of like self-help or advice about, hey, this is a thing that I'm trying, because if I get demonetized, oh my gosh. We're going to get him. We're going to shut down that BigCatDerek guy one of these days. There's like just some people in the YouTube headquarters, and they're wearing their druid robes. We shall pick a name from the fire. That shall be our target. Oh, why do we have to talk like this? Shut up, Karen. Ah! But, yeah. I've been doing some super important, and these are they're super simple things that I wish that I would have. It's like sometimes you know about a thing for a long time. You know it, or you know of it, but maybe you don't actually kind of really absorb it or actually kind of integrate it into your life, your happenstances. So you just, and then when it comes time to actually do the thing or incorporate whatever the thing might be, you're like, why did it take me so long to do this thing? Because this thing is obviously very beneficial. Very beneficial. Now, sleep. Oh my gosh. Sleep is that has been one of the most, the thorn in my side, one of the most difficult things, which to handle, to manage, to try to get enough of, and I'm sure that so many people can relate. There's so many people who suffer from sleep issues and sleep problems. And, but there's like some different things you can do to help you out. And they're super simple. And basically it just involves light and your phone. And like the ways in light, phone, screens, your brain activity, all that stuff. And having, I guess having some proper patterns of behavior, both before and after you wake up. Because I guess there's different brainwave patterns that we exhibit. There's different brainwave patterns that people exhibit in various states of wakefulness and sleepiness. There's different waves. There's alpha waves, there's beta waves, there's delta waves, and theta waves. Now, I believe that this is correct, but when you're asleep, like deep asleep, is it delta? I think it's delta waves. Ya know. Moo. Hello. He doesn't feel like mooing. That's okay. And then when you're in states of wakefulness, your brain has this beta waves. Beta wave function. And then like in between your delta and your beta, you have alpha and theta. I think that they were saying, some of the videos I saw that said like alpha waves can be caused, like alpha is like passive information. A lot of times is like oftentimes the best that happens when you're in an alpha wave state. A lot of times actually when you're watching television, you can get into an alpha wave state. And that's where like you'll be so engrossed in the TV show and then someone just walks into the room and they're like blah, 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 blah. You don't even hear them. You don't know it. Oh, Ren. Melissa says hi. Melissa says hi. That's that whole thing. It's a again more of a trancey kind of trance thing. Not that trance, no. And then there's theta waves, which is kind of another kind of in-between nexus brainwave state, in between your beta and your delta waves. So beta being your wakeful brainwaves, and then your delta being your deep sleep brainwave patterns. And the integration that you have, wow! Oh my gosh! Now that's one of those kind of things where, okay, so when you're in beta, when you're fully awake, you can't just snap your fingers and then go from beta to delta. You have to there's a transitory period. You have to get into a theta. You have to get into a theta wave state in order to facilitate that transition. One of the greatest ways that you can do that is basically quit playing with your stinking phone. Don't play with your phone. Okay, if you know that you're going to be going to bed at 10, 9 o'clock, start turning lights off. 9 o'clock, start turning lights off, start turning screens off. That includes television screen, that includes your phone screen. A lot of these different things, they emit what is known as blue light. I don't exactly know the different frequencies of the waves and everything, but all I know is that blue light inhibits certain brainwave patterns from developing, and it also inhibits melatonin production, and melatonin is the sleepy hormone. Melatonin is the sleepy hormone, and if you have blue light, which is oftentimes emitted by screens, and then you're like, oh, but Derek, I have a blue light filter on my phone. Yes, I have blue light filters on my phone as well. A lot of times it's not just the fact that you're looking at screen. Sometimes it's like just the brightness of the screen can actually cause psychophysiologic effects. You know, it's almost kind of like when you have a canary in a cage and then you put a blanket on the cage and then the canary thinks it's night and it goes to sleep and you're like, oh, dumb canary. Well, people are the same. If you can artificially get people to like go into a more restful brainwave state, a more melatonin producing state, and that will increase the likelihood that you will fall asleep faster, and it'll also increase the likelihood that your quality of sleep and then your REM cycles will actually be something that actually happens. I gotta tell you, been a game changer. It's been a game changer. I have like a excuse me, especially when I'm not here, especially when I'm kind of back at my apartment, I have a nocturnal pattern thing that I do. When I know that it's going to be bedtime, I start turning lights off and I plug in my phone. I make sure that all of my alarms are set. And then I put that thing down. I don't look at it. And I start turning lights off all over the place. The only thing that I can do, maybe I can draw a little bit. Maybe I can read a little bit. But a lot of times I'll just kind of sit there and I'll just think. I'll sit there and I'll think about maybe how I want the next day to go. I'll think about plans that I have, goals that I might have. Because that is actually also another really important kind of critical thing that can happen, is that when you go into some of these different, like in-between brainwave states, your alpha and your theta states, a lot of times your most creative thinking happens, and also a lot of times where your thoughts become, your brain's able to kind of organize your thoughts a little bit more rapidly. So, or readily, maybe not rapidly. So they're really, really important states of mind, and you should try to do whatever you can to not disrupt them. And again, it's like, I got all these notifications, I gotta check. That's the other thing. Oh my gosh, like social media. There's a place for it. But right before bed, no. Yes, Milo, no. Like, don't engage with social, even if you have a blue light filter, even if your phone is all the way down, even if you're using Elon Musk's Neuralink to basically check your Twitter mentions, don't do it. Because what happens is that social media is so oftentimes linked to manipulating your dopamine production, your dopamine receptors and your dopamine production. And dopamine is oftentimes, of course, like linked, or excessive dopamine, activity, or I guess whenever you consciously engage in activity that is trying to facilitate the natural release of dopamine, that can actually be linked to certain addictive tendencies. That's why I like social media and gambling can be true addictions, because you are actually dealing with chemicals. You're manipulating chemicals in your brain. Because dopamine actually it's all to do with your centers for reward, like your reward centers. Oh my gosh, so whenever you engage with social media, right before bed, again, it's like you're inhibiting your in-between brainwave pattern kind of flow. The stuff that gets you from a beta brainwave state, a wakeful state, to a delta state, because again, it's like you need to glide into sleepiness. Social media and like the dopamine kind of response, that also, it messes with your melatonin. Again, melatonin production. And you see what's happening here? So again, if you can just be you and just be present and just be mindful, it will be such a huge altering thing. Also, right when you wake up. Now, how many? Okay, raise your hand if this is you. Raise your hand if this is you. Raise your hand if this is you. Like, who out of you checks your phone within like the first 5 minutes of you waking up. Like, be honest. Be honest. That used to be me. I don't do that anymore. I do not do that anymore. I very, very specifically, oh my God, stinky face. Oh my God, but yeah, no. I would, the first thing in the morning, I would check the Instagram mentions, I would check my Twitter mentions, and then I would start to go into what's on Reddit. There's some interesting stuff on Reddit. I don't do that anymore because, again, here's the thing. You're going from sleepiness, you're going from a delta brainwave state to a point of wakefulness, which is a beta brainwave state. But again, you have to ramp yourself up. You have to, and then you can stutter that process and get yourself not to a proper place of wakefulness. So again, whatever your morning, if you have breakfast, you have coffee or something like that, keep the lights low. Here's the thing, wake up. Like, get up, like actually get up. Don't just lie in bed. Like, get up. If you do the breakfast thing, do the breakfast thing. If you have coffee, do the coffee thing. But just take that morning, the first half hour at least, longer if you can, but just exist. Just be mindful. Just be present. Because again, we're talking about facilitating certain brainwave states and brainwave patterns in between your wakefulness states and your sleepfulness states. And again, remember we were talking about how some of your most creative thinking happens when you're in kind of those nexus states. I remember watching a video that one of the best ways to get into, I think, an alpha state is to take a shower, or either an alpha or a theta, I don't know, but it's to take a shower. And you know how like the shower thoughts subreddit is a thing? That's because you can artificially jumpstart in between brainwave state to where you get into a more mindful, meditative, kind of trance-like kind of thing. That's what happens. Isn't that crazy? So again, like, think about your day, think about your goals, think about what you want to do, and how you're going to go about doing them. And I got to tell you, I am so much like more just like bright and alert. I feel so much more rested. I know I'm getting actual, like, honest to goodness REM cycles when I'm sleeping now. My sleep debt is not anywhere near what it used to be, if like it's even at like negligible amounts. The time I spend asleep is longer. The quality of my sleep is better. I'm more focused. I'm a lot more like emotionally just there and present and stable. I'm not so impulsive or just quick to just like, just, which happens. Oh God, happens. It's a thing. I'm telling you, like doing some of these key things, just being okay with being present, not messing with your phone right before bed and right after you wake up, and then just being very conscious of light both before and after you wake up. Huge impacts. And like I said before, I wish that I knew this stuff years ago. I wish that I would have known about this stuff, because I feel like I would have been able to just like, I feel like I would have been able to get things, like more things accomplished. I would have been further along with certain things that I wanted to do. I wouldn't have had like such difficulties and, you know, at times like strained relationships with people that I care about, just because I wasn't sleeping well, and it was messing with my hormones and messing with like brain chemicals, and I was it was irritable. Like, I wish that I would have known about this stuff so much longer ago. And I can't not do these things now. Like, these are my patterns now. Like, it's so clearly and immediately beneficial. So clearly and immediately beneficial that it's just like, all right, this is my life now. This is definitely something that I am integrating into my world. This is how it's going to be. I'm very thankful for it. Very thankful that I kind of found some of those different kind of things, resources, and decided to kind of adopt them in there. So, yeah. Give it a try. Give it a try. But my phone, I need my phone. I need to know. I need to know. I have to see the inspiration from The Rock. Has he posted another video? Maybe he posted because he gets up pretty early to go lift weights. So I'll have to make sure to check and see if he don't skip leg day. It's fine. The Rock can wait. It's not to say don't. Here's the thing. Basically, it's like just don't engage with the stuff. Like if you can do an hour before and an hour after, great. If you can only do a half hour before, half hour after, not as great, but still, that's better than nothing. You just put the stuff down and just be. Just be. Easy. She's pooping. Fire. Well, that's all I got for now. Anyway, thanks for watching this episode of the Walk Around the Compound webcast. Hashtag Dorbus Award in the comment section below. Like and subscribe for all your big cat goodness. If you want to learn more about the facility around you, you can always go to carerescuetexas.com for more information. And I will talk at you later. All right. Bye-bye.